Welcome to the Protein Bros podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Wasserman, and with me, as always, my co-host, Kyle Combs.
What's going on, guys?
Say what's going on, guys. And we also have Tyler Muniz, heavily related to Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle.
Direct bloodline.
Tyler Muniz.
They're cousins.
Yeah. Distant cousins. You wouldn't get it.
Long-time power lifter, long-time weightlifter. Now, your 9th strongest. Is that right?
10th strongest firefighter in the world.
10th strongest firefighter in the world.
Yep.
Resides right here in the Kansas City metro area. Freaking awesome, dude. Very nice to meet you. I'm super psyched to have you on.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the hospitality. It's been great already.
Yeah, man. We got to get you that beer. Do we need a beer for this?
Hey, let's beer it up.
Luke, can you get this man?
Luke?
Cracker one.
Kyle, you want to brew?
You know what? Sure.
I'll say you can't do two and just have the one.
I guess I'm having a beer or a seltzer if that's what we got in there. Whatever the fridge holds, I will
You a
take.
seltzer guy?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll admit it.
I've never even had one. Never. Not once.
I've watched this man take a sip of a seltzer on a float trip.
Not while I was cohesive.
Yeah. He doesn't remember what it tastes like, but he had one.
Yeah, guys are like, oh man, that's weak that you drink seltzer. Like, where's the whiskey?
Hey, I cannot. Well,
if you guys are tequila drinkers, we do have. I'll take this. This is fine.
I know you want the cucumber. I can't.
Shout out Una Vida Tequila. One of the owners of Una Vida, Zach Conley, played at college football right here with Tyler.
Yep. Culver Stockton College.
How good was Zach Conley at football?
Zach was a tank. He's
a tank to this day.
Yeah, he was a fullback for us.
No shit.
Yeah.
They give that guy the ball.
So my senior year.
Give that guy the ball.
Well, it's a lineman's dream, dude.
Yeah,
every big man wanted the ball. I'm just jealous.
Exactly.
Straight jealous.
I played nose guard, so I played defense. And then my senior year, we had a new coach coming in. I was like, I want to go to fullback. And I go,
as we all did.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've lost a little bit of weight. Like I'm at 265. Like I'm strong right now. Like I want to play fullback. And he was coming from Michigan State. And so he was just trying to have like expectations anyways. And so I said something. I was like, I'm playing fullback my senior year. So we start off camp, and I'm playing fullback, and it's Zach and I.
You're in the fullback line,
yeah,
and linebacker too, or you stay nose guard too on defense.
It was basically you had one choice. You're either playing fullback or nose. And I was like, I want to play fullback.
Done.
I played defensive line my whole life.
So it was just 1v1 for fullback position,
right? And then after like camp, I think like too many defensive linemen got hurt. Like one like blew out of ACL. Like one dropped out of school, realized it wasn't for him. They're like, hey, we got to move you back. Sorry. You're going back to nose guard if you like it or not.
Hey, we're here to crush your dreams.
Your dreams are over.
Right.
I remember I don't know what it is about. They were my senior year, they were trying to make me play fullback and defensive line, and I played all special teams, and I was just like, dude, I'm just trying to I'm a defensive lineman, man. That's all I want to do.
Jeez. Right. I was like, dude, wear your varsity Letterman jacket while you're having this conversation, Kyle. Tell us all about your glory stories. Well, all special teams, offense. They wanted me to cheerlead too.
Did that sound douchey?
Right. They wanted me to do all.
Well, I remember distinctly wanting the opposite of that and being like, I don't want to play fullback. Yeah. Don't make me play fullback.
Yeah, because of course they never gave the ball.
No, it's just a blocking.
Right?
And this was in high school. It was just blocking. My college coaches never once thought.
Our team ran a veer concept, right? Which is essentially option, right?
Yeah.
And we gave the fullback the ball all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. So I was like, man, I want to be the fullback.
We played a couple of teams. We played Air Force Prep in college, and they gave the fullback the ball. It was either like A gap or B gap at the fullback, or they were doing a pitch every single time. It was a single wing.
It's one of those positions, honestly, that's just kind of fading out of football. Yeah. Like back in the day when everything was just running veers and power eyes back, like when football started, like fullback was necessary. But now everyone's spreading it out. They're getting those fast wide receivers. Yeah. One quick running back like Derrick Henry who can kind of play that versatile fullback and running back. But other than that, it's just fading out. And that same thing at Culver Stockton, even though we both went for fullback, honestly, there wasn't many playing opportunities at that position anyways, just because of the offense that we ran.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those faded out positions. But
well, don't say that, because I hope that since you've moved to Kansas City, you are a Michigan guy. Is that correct?
I am born and raised in Michigan.
Have you adopted the Chiefs yet?
Kind of.
You're certainly not a Detroit Lions fan.
Oh.
You're not a Lions fan, are you?
I have
That's got to be
to be a Lions fan. You have to be like,
I can assure
we
you
embrace
don't have
our
to
suck.
Okay.
We embrace it. It's not like
I was a St. Louis Rams fan, and for the last 15 years of being in St. Louis, it was very difficult.
As a Detroit Lions fan, last year had to be the most heartbreaking thing.
Yeah, but it was honestly it was split.
Dude,
You're like,
it's been that way.
Sucks, but like you were almost happy for the guy. It's
Yeah,
like,
been that way since
good
Joey
luck.
Hicks.
Like you gave us a good 12 years or whatever it was. Like we appreciate your effort. Go actually, because we knew he was a good quarterback.
Yeah,
like Stafford's a great quarterback.
You don't want Joey Harrington back? Remember Joey Harrington?
Yeah, I remember.
Number 3 overall pick.
Yep.
From Cal.
The worst / funniest thing that happened after that Super Bowl win was Matthew Stafford watched that chick just fall off the stage and he just turned around. I was like, oh man, that guy is drunk.
He still got on the AT&T commercial after that. I was like, somehow he was still lovable after that. That was
I think
hard.
he paid for hospital bills or whatever.
He was like, ooh, yikes, and turned around. What you didn't see was probably like 3 people helping her whenever she would turn around, right?
Media always makes it look way worse.
I did want to say that the Chiefs have always rostered a fullback, and they have not stopped.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
We're boys.
Sir Anthony
Sherman, 7 years, the sausage.
Oh boy. Yep.
He's our boy, and he's a friend of ours or whatever, but he was saying how he's like, dude, they'll never get rid of the fullback because he's like, I'm on special teams. It's like,
exactly.
Can't get rid of the long snapper.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's what it was as a fullback. Like we'd play the wings on field goal, like the outside stumps so like you try to push us over kind of thing. But go back to your question about Chiefs, like inheriting it, like my wife and her family are diehard Broncos fans. Like they were born and raised in Colorado, in Denver.
Hey, respect. The John Elway era.
Right, exactly.
How could you not be?
So brother-in-law, like they're all just diehard. So I just do Chiefs to spite them a little bit. Like, hey.
I'm actually a little worried about the Broncos this year, man.
Yeah.
In a good way for Broncos fans, I'm assuming. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Russell Wilson.
Wilson is a stud.
He is.
Our conference just got really, really difficult.
So fun fact about Russell Wilson, and this is going to start sounding like an NFL podcast real fast.
Exactly.
But he has a really, really, really hard time throwing over the middle because of his height. They get swatted and so forth. And as a Rams fan, we would dominate Russell Wilson, and he just because they would just push up the middle, and he can't throw up the middle. So it's just one of those things where we get a good pass rush on him.
You'll be all right.
We'll be just fine, especially because he needs to have outside receivers that can win one-on-one, and no one's really proven that yet for Denver. And they got good receivers. They got Jerry Jeudy, right? And then they got Cortland Sutton, who's a big dude. But I don't know. They got rid of Noah Fant, who's the tight end they've just drafted, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm like, who are you throwing to? Because Jeudy will get hurt or something. I don't know. I'm not worried. I think Denver finishes last. That's my call. I think Vegas beats them.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they finish last.
Wow. Okay.
Man, my wife already hates this podcast now. They're just dogging on it.
Hey man, I got a lot of respect for Russell Wilson,
right?
And Sierra. There
you go. Hey,
Sarah's my girl.
Good for him.
Hell yeah, dude. She probably is older than him. Now that I think about it. She's robbing the cradle on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was popular when I was like middle school.
Dude. I was listening to Goodies in like 8th grade.
Yeah.
That was her first song, dude.
Yeah, good for her.
Wait, who was the person on the track? Like, this is how old Sierra is. Her first song had like Missy Elliott in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're thinking 05 for sure.
Or like
right
Ludacris.
Yeah. We're talking like 00.
Okay.
Yeah. No, like for real. I think she came out like freshman year of high school for me. So it's like 2002, something like that.
Part of my life is pretty blurry.
Look up Goodies, Luke, now. We want to see it. Let's see what Sierra's first hit.
You know what's funny is Luke doesn't even know what we're talking about. That's how old.
Right. That's a very good point.
Oh man, I work with a bunch of young guys at the fire station, man, and it's always like, have you ever seen this movie? And it's simple movies like Ghostbusters and Blues Brothers. Like, no,
classics. Like,
they have no
of course
idea.
You've seen it.
They have no idea.
You've seen Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, and they're like, I've seen part of Happy Gilmore.
Yeah,
like, what are you talking about? Part of Happy Gilmore.
What's crazy is like, I don't even view those as being old movies, and now that Happy Gilmore's what
25th anniversary,
25th,
yeah, 30 years old almost.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I'm like, God dang, that's
dude,
crazy.
They had all the guys from the Sandlot out for like that 25-year anniversary, and I was like, oh no,
jeez,
my favorite childhood movie.
It is the best movie.
Now they have gray hair.
Yeah, and they all have like kids and.
What was it?
2004.
2005.
Yeah, you're close. Yeah, 2 years off. Or on mine, on my call was 02. So, question, this? Benny the Jet Rodriguez is now a firefighter in California.
I knew that. I did know that.
And he won't have anything to do with it. He won't do a single anything that's to do with the Sandlot. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, just embrace it.
Right.
You were also Mendoza on Mighty Ducks. He was the kid that couldn't stop.
That's true.
He was fast in both movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of Mighty Ducks, Goldberg, man, glad to see he's back on track.
Right? I named a dog after him.
Did you really?
I did.
Did you ever see him when he's strung out on meth?
Yeah, that was really sad.
He looked rough, man.
Is that-
We need not doing well.
Put the guy, put Goldberg's mugshot, which is just so sad. Put it right here.
Yeah.
For the YouTube. Okay. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It was so bad. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Oh, he looks.
Yeah,
he looks like he's
also
about to
got
die.
arrested, dude. He was like
I mean, you'd think Yeah was into the cocaine.
Yeah, was like
Yeah.
Was a GTL guy. He was like straight up
Jim Tanlow?
lived in New Jersey and was a straight Guido and like got in trouble for like screaming at people in the street and so forth. And
I
got
could
arrested.
see Just being Pauly D. They
Yeah.
kind of look alike.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they were I mean, it seems like he was exactly like a blueprint of that.
And then Ham, the redhead, he
Yeah.
looks exactly the same as he
Yeah.
did, but just chubby
That's
adult.
true.
He's just a chubby adult.
Yeah, he doesn't look.
Dude, how old are we? When he was an adult, he was in a 10-10-220 commercial.
Yeah,
Do you ever 10-10-220?
No.
You
10-10-220.
Dude, the guy from Third Rock from the Sun was also in all the 10-10-220 commercials. David Arquette also in all the 10-10-220 commercials.
Is it a retail store?
No, guys,
What
remember
is
people used to call collect,
Right.
and that's what you would dial.
Was it really?
Yeah, 10-10-220. What are you looking up? Yeah, that's probably like 95, 97. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, dialed on the center.
You know, his best movie was Big Green. I'm just going to throw that out there.
And that's no
that's
one
not
knows
real.
about the Big Green Man. And that's
Big
what's-
Green,
Big
man.
Green's
Soccer movie.
solid.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
they had a
he was the
mascot.
goalie?
Yeah.
They had a goat as a mascot.
Yeah,
Yeah, they hit the field. Yeah.
They
No,
get
the
like
big-
attacked.
He was
by-
afraid, like the
people
Chinese
on
warriors,
horses.
and, like,
So
samurais.
besides the Big Green and then Sandlot, he was also in another couple like small little movies that never really took off. Whatever.
He didn't make it into any of the Mighty Ducks though. A lot of those movies, like the kids' movies, they just cross over.
Yep.
You know a movie from that era that me and him both like is
I
Heavyweights.
was gonna say Heavyweights.
Oh
the
my god,
best.
I love that.
And he
movie.
didn't make it.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't put him in Heavyweights.
Heavyweights was responsible for me wanting to go kart so bad.
Absolutely.
I did not send you to go kart camp.
That's the line of lines
Yeah,
right
man.
there.
Oh, we quote that movie at work all the time. There's so many movies that we quote, and it's always about like those '90s like Nickelodeon kind of movies and things like that.
Dude, now that you have kids,
Salami
am I
Sam.
wrong? But there's
Yeah.
no good kid movies
No,
anymore. They all
I can't watch
suck.
them. And
Yeah.
my son can't watch them. He doesn't have the patience. I mean, he's 3, but like he won't sit down. Now, what he did watch the other day was the first 30 minutes of the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
All right.
All right. That's what I like to see, buddy. Like, we're watching the Mighty Ducks. And, there's so many movies on Disney Plus.
Was he practicing a triple deke?
He's trying, man.
All
Trying to get
those
that knuckle
movies
puck.
are on Disney Plus. All
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I think the issue really comes down to it's like quality over quantity. Back in the day, like the only time you could get a new movie was obviously if you went and saw it in theaters, right? And then there was like the really terrible like straight to VHS
Right.
movies back in the day. And, like that was just it, right? Now you have like 17 different streaming services.
You can't keep up.
Yeah, it's like this is a new TNT original, a new Showtime original, a new, so it's just like there's just so much out there. Apparently, if you just like have a pulse, you can get a greenlit, script, and they'll make a movie for you.
You know what was also going on at that time is all the ninja movies. There was like
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
3 ninjas,
Rocky.
It started-
sidekicks.
Yeah.
It started with Karate Kid, and
Karate
then
Kid.
it just went
Just went off
bananas.
there.
There was one called Sidekicks. Remember that?
Yep.
One? Did you say that one already?
I said sidekicks.
yeah.
Sidekicks
With
was awesome.
Chuck Norris.
Yup.
Wasn't it with Chuck?
Chuck Norris and that kid from Ladybugs.
Oh, dude, the best one of this
Oh,
was
the-
Surf Ninjas.
Look up Ladybugs and look up
With Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah, Ladybugs.
Yeah.
But he was
the
a kid
boy that
playing
played the girl?
Correct.
He's
Reverse. She's the man.
Yeah.
Which is taken later. Yeah.
That, you know what No.
Would you look up? Yeah, but like the first.
Type in the movie Ladybugs.
Type in
movie.
Ladybugs. It's like the first kid. He was like
He committed suicide.
No, did he really?
Oh, like,
he was also
probably
in
10 years
He was
ago.
also in the original It.
Yes, he was.
That kid
George,
was like he
was Georgie, right?
Georgie's brother, older brother,
right?
But he was like the most like handsome kid.
Yep.
When you were a kid, you're like, I want to be as cool
He
as
had
that
the
guy.
middle part coiffed over.
Oh
everything like
yeah,
that,
man. You'll see him. Look this up, dude.
What's his name?
Okay, the
first one.
The first one will be him. Like hit the first person.
Top left. Yes.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Jonathan Brandis. Hit the middle picture. That's how everybody remembers him.
Dude, 90s stud.
Oh, that guy committed
90s
suicide?
stud. Yeah.
God
Dude,
damn.
we lost another one. Yeah.
Yeah, this was probably
River,
like-
River Phoenix as
That
well.
kid had asthma.
That was exactly right.
But yeah, man.
I just remember being like, dude, stop being a pussy. Come on, man. Get it together.
In the movie It.
No, this was in
he had a stutter.
Sidekicks.
He had a stutter in It.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. That's right.
It's like, Anyway.
And then ladybugs.
Oh God,
Georgie. Anyways, so we got Tyler on the podcast to talk 90s kids movies. But secondarily, we got him on here to talk about his attributes as a strong man firefighter.
Yep.
So we did not know that there was a strongest firefighter competition. We've seen I feel like on ESPN some kind of firefighter events, right, where it's climbing ladders.
Yeah, the combat challenge.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. So have you done the combat challenge?
Nope, I have not. And that's Overland Park Fire used to have a solid team back in the 90s that would compete worldwide and things like that. But honestly, it's a lot bigger in Europe. No, it's here in America and stuff like that. But it's definitely a lot bigger in the Europe area. But yeah, so it started off in 2019 was the first year of World's Strongest Firefighter. And it started off with Arnold Schwarzenegger at that time was all those big fires were happening. Remember Paradise, California, the whole city had burned down.
Right.
It was that time frame. So 2018, with all the bad California wildland fires, Arnold Schwarzenegger, just being the guy who he was coming out and helping, feeding lunch and kind of supporting the fire crews. And holy cow, these guys are athletes. Look at their, they're climbing these mountains. And of course, he's got to do it in his accent. He's just these guys are really, they're really strong athletes. And you're just all right, man, you're a cool cat.
He was the governor of California. I'm sure he's got a soft spot for the state.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so he was I want to recognize this. I want to show these guys off to the world about what firefighters can do and what they're really fighting out here. So he kind of got with his sports team. And now obviously the Arnold is in Columbus every year in March.
This is the Arnold Sports Classic?
Yep. So it's Arnold Sports Festival. And then the Arnold Classic is the actual bodybuilding competition.
Correct.
So
there's everything at the Arnold Sports Festival.
My gosh.
There's arm wrestling. There
was slap fighting this year. Logan Paul was there doing slap fighting competition on one of the main stages.
Yeah, I heard some dude got dropped.
Yeah.
And they panned over to Logan Paul and he was like,
yeah, that's exactly it.
There's a meme for it. Put that here, Luke.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, the Arnold Sports Festival. So he wanted to recognize this. So the first 2 years of the event was in Santa Monica, California. It was on the pier, and that's where 2019 World's Strongest Man was being held, was in Santa Monica.
Very cool.
So they kind of did it at the same time, and it was just the first year. Someone got put in charge who kind of still helps out with the World's Strongest Firefighter, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm sure I can get hundreds of people to come out here. All these California wildland fighters would love to have a competition like this." Well, came down to the wire, and basically there was 4 or 5 guys that ended up doing it that first year. There was hardly any recognition from it.
He did a terrible job promoting it.
Yeah, and I guess it just wasn't hitting. People were thinking it was a joke kind of thing and didn't want whatever. I don't know. And then the following year, there was actually a good representation, 10 firefighters across the world, or across the United States at that point. And it really kind of took off from there. That's where I got constant media and stuff like that. Well, then last year, 2020, pandemic, so nothing happened. 2021, you could come to the Arnold, but there was no spectators. It was simply you're going there to just do your lift of whatever event, powerlifting, whatever event it was. You were just going there to compete, no visitors. So this was the first year that they brought World's Strongest Firefighter to the Arnold, and first year after the pandemic. So a lot of people, it was crazy event. And it all started simply because of an email. It was something on Instagram. I was now looking for World's Strongest Firefighters, apply now. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Why not? What's it going to hurt?
Yeah.
And so I think that was last November. And about a month later, I got an email back saying hey, send us some of your lifts of your lifting career. Show us a 1-minute intro video of who you are. So filled it all out. I was thinking nothing of it. Honestly, I was thinking I'm not going to get picked for this. It's not happening. And so I sent it all back in. I was super stoked. And then another month later, it was middle of January. And I got this email. I was doing a work email and dropped down. It's congratulations, you've been selected to compete at World's Strongest Firefighter. And I was like, holy shit. What? I had just lost a total of 90 pounds. And so I was not ready for strongman. I thought this was going to be something just kind of brute strength it and I'll be good to go.
Sure.
But, so I had 7 weeks to prepare strongman, and I had never done strongman a day in my life. I've always loved it, loving the sport growing up, Brian Shaw, and even back in the day.
The metrics days.
Yeah, the Mariusz Pudzianowskis and things like that.
You don't know what European country they were from, but they were definitely not from America.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I knew the sport, I knew everything about it, and but I never competed in it. So I had 6 weeks to start training. And about a week later, after we got selected, they sent out an email about like, these are the events. And it was a 250-pound log press for reps. It was a 250-pound sandbag carry for total distance. It was deadlift of 550 pounds for reps. And then the last event was a sled pull. So I am coming off just losing all this weight. I'm thin. Like, I am not.
What are you weighing at this point? Because you lost over 100 pounds or 90 pounds, you said? I'm sorry.
Yep. So right now I weighed in at 240 this morning. At one point, so when I graduated college, after playing football, I was probably 270. That's kind of where I sat most of all of college, actually. And then afterwards, I ballooned to like 320. And it was just that I was still eating like I was playing football, but I was not working out like I was playing football anymore.
Very easy to do.
So I ballooned.
A lot of athletes know that feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, I was never set up for success with that out of college. It was just simply like, we'll teach you how to be great here, how to gain weight here, how to work out. But when you're done with college, like, good luck.
Yeah.
You know, there was no support of like, because it was almost like playing college football. It was like, you have to eat this much calories in a day. You have to eat to keep the weight that you're at. So you're gorging yourself daily. You know, you're eating loaves of bread and peanut butter and jelly and rotisserie chickens, and you're just gaining weight just to gain weight, to maintain, honestly. Mm-hmm. And then I was still doing that after college, but I wasn't working out. It became
your eating habits.
It became an eating habit of overeating and gorging myself just simply because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. That's my whole life. It was, hey, eat this. Like, I started playing football like late 90s, like youth football, like 98, 99. And back then, like, coaches would tell like, hey, you got to eat, you got to get big. And what that meant was going to eat McDonald's.
Yeah, there was no
calories.
Yeah, it wasn't.
They didn't get really specific with you on what you should eat. They just said you need to get in calories.
Right.
And the old peanut butter in the tortilla was the move.
Yeah. Oh man, and it's so many like little double cheeseburgers from McDonald's, and so
let's give some credit.
McNasties?
Yeah,
the McTasty. Wasn't that $1?
Yeah, we used to call it McNasty.
No, the Big and Tasty.
Big and Tasty.
Yeah.
That was the double burger back in the high school days.
No, it wasn't a double. It was just a single patty, but it was good.
All right,
so after in junior college, side
double
note,
was too. Yeah.
in JUCO, I played football in Michigan. Any away game, we'd play our game, and we'd get on the bus, and they'd have 2 Big Macs, 2 large fries, and two Cokes in a bag at your seat, and that's what you ate on the way home from like a game. And
shit, they gave you that?
That
for
was
free?
Yeah, and that was, but it wasn't like that good nutrition. Like at that point, we hadn't been
Horrendous.
learning about like the good proteins you should be having. It was still at that age where
These are Coke heavies.
Yeah, Coke.
We used to get a full pizza. They'd give us just one. You'd walk on the bus and they'd just give you a full large pizza. Yep. Here you go.
Or like a big KFC thing or something.
Dude, we didn't get any food after our games.
This is in college.
Yeah, this was college. This was in JUCO level.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends, played at Michigan State, and they're getting just the red carpet service of Division I. Like you're getting, everything handed to you.
Yeah.
Dude, I was told in D1 you could, and this is at Missouri State where we're talking like, it is not that, well, hey, shout out Missouri State this year.
They did pretty good this year.
Yeah. This year they're killing it. But back then, I was told that they could literally just go to the dining halls and just like request, like, hey, I need to have this, like this many egg omelet, and they'd make it for them. Mm-hmm. Is that real?
Yeah.
I mean, Kyle knows
I lived with
the
all
football dudes.
Yeah. I don't know. They didn't tell. I mean,
it was just wild.
I remember back then, we were poor kids, and they would come home with tons of muscle milk. They'd be like, they just give me this. I'm like,
between muscle milk
let me
and
get that.
what are those like syrup Cliff Bars?
Yeah.
Oh my! I can't touch a Cliff Bar to this day because of JUCO football. It was like every halftime, like just slamming down these
trying to get some calories.
Yeah, and just gross. And so
was it a Power Bar or was it a Cliff Bar?
It was a Cliff Bar.
Cliff Bars,
but this
are like
was
no
Cliff
big
Bar
cookies. They're like delicious.
Yeah, this was Cliff Bars in their early days where it was like it felt like a syrup pancake, kind of like hot.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Oh, it was the worst.
There was like a sugary syrup on them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so we had those. So yeah, I had gotten to a weight about 320. Go back all that. Gotten to a weight about 320, 325. Knew I had to make a change. I was like, I feel unhealthy. I look unhealthy. Like I'm not as what I should be doing, And something I've always told myself was like, I'm not gonna be the fucking fat dad. Like I'm gonna have kids. I'm not gonna be that dad that sits on the sidelines and like, oh, like my knee, my back hurt. Like, yeah, they do, but I'm still gonna be sitting there like with you, right? I'm not gonna be that fat dad that's
glory story. It's like, man, you just seen me in high school.
Yeah, you should have seen me, man. Like my knee, it's rough now, but I didn't want that. I didn't want those excuses. So it's honestly been a process of about 10 years to really lose about the total of 90 pounds, about almost 100 pounds. So probably 50 pounds were over the last 5 years. Just slowly.
First 50, was it quicker or was the last 50 quicker?
It would, and this, like I said, this is a 10-year battle. It was up and down all the time. I would lose 20 and then I would gain 30. And I'd lose 30 and I'd gain, 32. So
was the dieting rather extreme, Tyler? Was it something that
I
can relate on that level? You know what I mean? So I just want to know, like, not hard for me to gain 20 pounds.
Oh, my body type gains it quick.
I could do it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I are twins. So
Yeah, we really are.
I literally woke up at 241. So
You should do the handlebar mustache.
How tall are you?
5'10", 5'11".
He's taller than you.
Yeah,
You're 5'9".
We'll find. Hey, let me spike my hair. We'll stand next to each other. We'll see what happens.
Get the real height.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's a straight up body twin for real.
Yeah.
I just like his mustache better than yours.
Hey, I had that for Halloween.
I
was the janitor on Happy Gilmore. Ben Stiller.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, I'd lost this weight, and then it goes back to kind of like that 90s thing where no one really knew like what to do.
Yeah.
I would, I remember my mom doing like Jenny Craig when I was growing up. And Weight Watchers and, all these different propaganda, honestly, kind of what it is. Like, how do you lose weight now and do this kind of diet and the hot dog diet? There's literally every kind of diet. But nothing was really working. I would lose quick weight. So like low carb, I'd lose 20 pounds like a week, 2 weeks. Yeah, water weight and things like that. But then I would gain it right back because it wasn't sustainable. And so it was just always a balance game. And it took forever to really figure out what worked for me. Mm-hmm. And then last year, this time last year, I just got back from the Dominican Republic. And I saw myself out there and I was like, God, I just got to make a change. I got to do something. And so I was working at our slowest station for our fire department, which is out in Edgerton. Small little town of like 2,000 people. We hardly get any calls out there, but it's part of our fire service in our district, and that's what we got to serve. So I just started getting on the treadmill, and like after any meal, I would get on the treadmill and I would do 15, 20 minutes every time at least.
Walking on an incline, jogging.
Starting slow, because like I've always figured out with my body type, like if I just jump into it, I'm going to get injured. Like this is how it is. So I started slow, and it was very humbling because I've been the guy that's in the weight room that's out squatting you, out benching you, out doing all that. And for me to almost start off for like, I'm going to learn how to walk before I can run. And that was really humbling. That really kind of was like, fuck, man, like this sucks. Like I want to be running. I want to be flipping tires over my head right now, but like I have to start slow. I have to let this be sustainable. And that was growing slow. Was it the healthiest way? Probably not, because I was only eating maybe 1,000 calories a day and I was burning at least 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing 25,000.
Yeah.
I was doing 25,000 steps a day.
Wow.
At least.
God,
and then I would do,
must have killed.
Yeah. Like, so I started to like get running shoes and like had to start doing some of that stuff. And I was getting on the treadmill and I would do the incline at 15% with an air pack on my back, which is additional 45 pounds. So it was just coming off like crazy. But I knew, once again, if I don't fix this problem that I've had in the past about this yo-yo bouncing, like I have to find how this is sustainable. So then I literally started just adding a little bit more calories, just a little bit here and there. Maybe I'd do 1,200 calories for a couple of days and just kind of let that go and see how it works.
And we were counting calories back then?
No.
Okay.
Not really. It was just, I
eyeballing
knew.
It?
Yeah, eyeball. I've never been a micro or macro. Like I've always been the big guy. I got to eat whatever I want. I did heavyweight wrestling. Like guys were sucking on orange peels and I'm eating at the buffet, like there was never that time where I was really counting. And then powerlifting, I was in that like 275 weight class. I wasn't going to get down to 242 and I wasn't going to get up to 308. I just ate whatever I want.
Yeah.
And so, but I was also working out. So I always that maintained. And so got to about 1,500, 2,000 calories a day. And it just kind of started sticking. I was maintaining at like 232. So I was 90 pounds total loss. And I've kept that off now for over a year.
Congrats, dude.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah,
Keeping it off for years is the hardest part.
Yeah. And so,
especially doing strongman stuff where I'm sure you're like
it's
tempted to want to gain weight back.
Yeah. And that's what I had to do. So
Yeah.
I was at 95 pounds when I found out I was going to be competing at Arnold's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
I had just lost that last like 10 pounds. I was doing cardio. I can't tell you how many fucking times a day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, you're doing strongman in 7 weeks against some of the strongest firefighters in the world. I'm like, fuck, like I'm not ready. Like I'm not ready for this. So I was spending probably $500 every week and a half at Costco getting food.
Jeez, dude.
Doing like ground bison, basmati rice, chicken, just eating.
Yeah.
Just making, the first few days were miserable.
Yeah.
Like I was just making myself almost throw up. but I was like, I have to expand my stomach so I can start getting these calories in, because the weights that I'm going to start having to moving in the training cycle is not easy. It's going to suck. And so, luckily enough, a guy that I used to work with the fire department now works in Lawrence, and still a firefighter, but he got into strongman and all that stuff. So he had some of the implements, like the log press and all that kind of stuff. Because like in 6 weeks, where the hell am I going to go? Like Kansas City doesn't have that many strongman gyms.
Sure.
There's one off like 75th, like by the Shawnee Mission.
Strong Barbell Club.
Barbell Club.
Shout out Strong Barbell Club.
And then you have one, I think, up in North Kansas City. I think there's one like where JP Price. I don't know if
That's
his
Strong Barbell Club.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then there's also one down by 75th off I-35. There's one down
What's
there.
that one?
I think it was called Stone and Bar.
Oh yeah, this is a private gym.
Yeah,
Strong Barbell.
But that was it. Like it was hard to find these implements. I was like, I'm not gonna go spend $1,000 on all this stuff. I might not even it was a big investment.
Yeah.
So my wife is meal prepping for me. We're going to Costco every week and a half, just eating and eating. Hawaiian Brothers became my place to go.
Yeah.
Because it was supplementing how much I need to eat. So I was eating about 5,000 or 6,000 calories a day.
Man, you're getting Hawaiian Bros to gain weight?
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm doing on DoorDash. It's under weight loss. I'm like,
Is it really?
Get out of here,
But
people.
I would get the
This is
large.
it's like 2,000 calories per serving.
Yeah.
But I was eating two of the large plates.
Dude,
Yeah.
I can't even
So they're
digest
small.
that for
Yeah.
5 days when I eat Hawaiian Bros. That's
so
for
there
real.
was small, classic, and large. And the large was like the massive. And I would get two of those just to put the calories in.
$30 later.
Yeah. And that was the thing. I realized how expensive this sport got. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just trying to follow like the Brian Shaws, the Eddie Halls, the Half Thors, like trying to mimic them in a way.
Yeah.
But also knowing that I'm not 6'9", 400 pounds, where they're doing 10,000 calories a day and they're burning it off because that's their job. It's like, I'm trying to gain weight, but I'm also trying to be fit to be a firefighter and not be fat.
Yeah.
Right. No, of course.
But also trying to gain this muscle. It was really complex.
I think what's crazy about strongman is it's people underestimate how good of cardio shape you have to be in to compete in strongman. Those guys are huge, but they have incredible endurance.
They have
at
to.
maximal weights. It's pretty impressive. If you've ever, didn't you say one of the competitions was 200-pound sandbag carry?
So it was supposed to be a 250-pound sandbag. Ended up being at competition 225 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's just a sandbag. I mean, it's just dead weight right there. And you have to basically
Clean
it up to your
event.
chest.
Yeah.
And once you get it to your chest, you kind of arch and you just walk.
Yeah.
What's the technique to get it up on your chest? Off the ground's gotta be the hardest part, right?
Yeah, it's literally like, for me, it was kind of how you flip it onto your hand, onto your forearm, and then you just kind of get it to your
You
legs.
plop it.
Yeah, you plop it and you kind of squat down, and then you kind of give it a bear hug and then stand up with it.
Right.
But
Like an Atlas
225
stone.
is,
But that's
is you. I don't even know. Could you get your hands around it all the way?
And so that was one of my faults of only having 6 weeks to train, is because I was like, I haven't worked out like this. I've been doing nothing but cardio for the last year. My body's not ready for this super heavy stuff that I'm about to do. So I was going to the YMCA because I still work for the Y, part-time work for there. And I was working out the Lathe Y, just trying to get into shape, just trying to get my muscles back to that muscle memory. Because it was hurting, and I'd hurt my back like that first week of training. I was like, this is going to suck, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was literally going
Log
through some
press?
like depression. I
Was
was
it log
like,
press? Oh.
I'm going to have to embarrass myself and withdraw from this because I'm not ready. Like I'm not hitting competition weights yet at all. So I was eating and I was working out. I got some implements from a buddy from another fire department, and I was starting to get into the groove. The eating was helping. I was starting to go to like cryotherapy, restore hyper wellness, doing cryotherapy in the Normatec boots, and I was just doing the most recovery that I could. I was stretching more. I was going to get stretched by high impact massage, like just trying to get my body ready. And it finally kind of came to the point where the 6 weeks was up. I had to train out all these different events, and got to the Arnold, which was an epic experience. I don't know if you guys have been to the Arnold, but it is 100% like what you think it is of a fitness expo of the world.
Wow.
Like it's unreal. Like there was like 250, 300,000 spectators there this year.
It's in March every year, and for our listeners, I did actually have tickets in 2020.
Yeah.
It was the first event that got canceled.
Really?
Basically. Yeah, it was like
That's right, that first week of
all the March
March.
Madness conference tournaments, all the conference tournaments before March Madness got canceled. And the Arnold was that weekend too. It was like the 12th or 13th or something.
And like growing up in Michigan, like Columbus, Ohio was only 3 hours away, but just never really made it down there. There was it was cool to go see, but like I wasn't going to spend all that money and travel to go to Arnold, but I always wanted to. So now the first time I'm doing it, I'm competing in it. in front of, however many thousands of fans. They're going to live stream this thing. And I'm like, I'm not ready. Like, I'm going to embarrass myself on live TV here in front of, however many thousands of people. Cause I just didn't think I was ready. I was so overwhelmed.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know. And
right.
Of course, then when you're trying something new, you're going to doubt yourself at times.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never done strongman. And so I got to go here and I'm going to watch these guys just easily flip this sandbag because of the technique they have down. And I'm going to be sitting here trying to muscle it and just all these things. But yeah, it ended up being just an amazing experience.
Let's talk about the events that you have to do for that. So for our listeners, there's some really fun, dude, strongman's fun. It's fun to watch. Fun. It's very cool. So for our listeners that aren't familiar with strongman, what does a fireman strongman look like?
So that's what's kind of unique is that in the sport of strongman, there really isn't divisions. I mean, there's lightweight class and stuff like that, but there's really no fireman strongman because it is kind of, yes, there are basic lifting concepts. It's actual lifting that you would use in the field, right? Mm-hmm. It makes sense. But at the same time, the eating habits and all that kind of stuff really doesn't go with the fireman aspect because you got to be in super good cardio shape for firefighting. But then here I am trying to gain all this weight as a strongman. So, but they're really fun because they're so dynamic. You can do so many different kinds of events at a strongman, and it's keg toss. It's that real strongman history, who just
Atlas stones.
Yeah, Atlas stones.
Car pole, truck pole.
Truck poles, plane poles, just
yoke
brute
walk,
strength fitness.
Farmer's carry.
Yeah, just super big stuff like that. And so I had never done any of this. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So one of the first events was a sandbag carry. Or I'm sorry, it was the log press. 250-pound log press. Had to get up to your legs, get it up, and then rep it. So I went up there, threw it over my head, and I was just losing my balance. I could not get my balance right. It was just, I was nervous. I was going way too fast. Technique had just almost flown out of my head. And I'm just looking at all these thousands of people out in the crowd and just man, this is not going to go well. What did I do? I ended up getting 3 reps. Not good, but I think it took me 6th place. So there was 13 of us from all around the world. Ireland was represented, Czech Republic, Canada. I was pretty much the only one from the Midwest there competing for Strongest Firefighter. And so, we get there on Friday, we meet with Arnold Schwarzenegger himself, get to hang out with him and meet him and just kind of he was just exactly what you think, just a cool guy, wanted to get to know us, wanted to talk to us and things like that. But of course he's Arnold. Yeah. So he's got to be in and out, he's got press to please. But we ended up having a special event that night. It was just awesome. It was just a really cool thing. And then Saturday we got to watch the expo. So that's where we're watching Eddie Hall just kind of walk around, half Thor was there. Just watching these world's strongest men compete, just the strongest men in the world, Brian Shaw, just these
absolute
dudes.
Tank.
Yeah. Just unreal people. And then you're watching the women's division of these women from around the world who are just lifting these stones above their head, the Denny stone. Weight. There was a girl, her name was Chloe Brennan. She did a Denny stone lift, which is 733 pounds, 2 rocks, and she weighed 135 pounds.
Wow.
She just picked them up.
That's nuts.
So you just got these freak of nature athletes that were there just competing. And so I ended up doing all right in that first event. A second event we had to do.
Real quick before you move on. For anybody who hasn't ever lifted a log before, it looks a lot easier than what it actually is. Had you lifted one before that event?
Maybe 10 times.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 times before.
It's so hard to get down because it's not like cleaning a barbell. It moves in your...
It's super awkward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like picking up an awkward object. It's just small enough to where you think you can do it. You know what I mean? You pick it up and then you're like, oh, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with this.
Yeah. I think the hardest part beyond just rolling it up your body or learning how to roll it up your body is just learning to flick your wrists under it and then balance it once it's there.
Right. And it's not like a barbell. Your hands are this way.
Yeah.
So it's just a different technique. It's a different position where it's a push press.
It's a neutral grip.
Yeah. It's neutral. And so it's a lot harder to kind of go from that when you've been under a barbell your whole life kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's getting it onto your legs, cleaning it up and then rolling it onto your chest, getting that big deep breath, and then just pushing it up.
Yeah. What's your favorite event out of the strongman for firefighters?
For that one, for sure, the sandbag carry. I end up liking that the most. So out of the 4 events, I didn't even compete in deadlift. So the event was a 550-pound deadlift pull for reps. And like I said, I had hurt my back like that first week of training. And so this whole time too, I have a hurt back. I don't think I'm going to compete well, but I'm giving her hell. And I told my wife this whole time, I was like, when I get out there and if this deadlift doesn't feel right, I'm not going to do it. I was like, I still have kids to pick up. I still have a job to do at home. Like, I'm not going to go blow out my back doing a deadlift for an axe. You know, so I still knew I had to make smart decisions up there. And so log press, and then went to sandbag, and then to the deadlift. And I went up there, I got my straps, gave it a college pull, and I was like, didn't feel right. I kind of tweaked my back almost again. And I was like, okay, just go through the pain, just do it one more time. Just you gotta lift this thing. And tried again, didn't move. It felt like it was like bolted to the ground. Right. I was like, fuck.
It was like concrete.
Yeah. So I stood up, waved to the crowd, walked back, and just took my 0.
Yeah.
And so that definitely bumped me down to like, I think 12th place, something like that. There were 16. I think about 12 or 13th place. So there was one event left, and it was a sled pull, like a 600 or 700 pound sled pull for like 50 feet. That's all it was. And I ended up getting it like in 7 seconds to pull it like 50 feet. And that ended up putting me in 10th. So I got top 10 out of it when it was all said and done.
That's awesome.
It was an amazing experience. Like, I really hope that people will kind of like determination for these firefighters to do what we have to do as our job, you know, and doing everything we do for that, but then also trying to do the strongman. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot of things to
Are you have you been competing since?
So I have another strongman event in August in Ellsworth, Kansas. Small little town, but it's full. And that's the cool thing about it is every event is different. What I just did in March at the Arnold. So that
is the hard thing about strongman is, you know, powerlifting, you know, you're always bench, squat, deadlift, but with strongman, it just depends. You know, you show up.
Yeah, whoever wants to, whatever sanction is putting it on.
Yeah, whatever meet director wants.
Yep.
So 4 different events that I'm trying to learn, and hustle carries and duck walks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just different things that are, you know, fun, but they're just different. You just got to train on them. You don't want to show up there and just be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You'll get hurt for sure.
What's next for you, man, in the sense of the world, like for the strongest firefighter? Are you going to be doing this again next year, you think?
So after the event, Arnold's personal assistant, Noah, really good guy, reached out to me and was like, hey, man, like, I think you would be really good at like spearheading like our alumni association. And I go, okay, like, sure. Like, what do you think? Kind of thing. He's like, you know, it's kind of help grow the program a little bit, kind of help get us in the media, you know, try to keep this group together and, you know, keep this event going.
And continue to compete every year.
Right. Yeah, that's what we're all saying. It's like, I want to be able to do this again. Like, it was such an awesome experience. So right now we have an event in September at Santa Monica at Muscle Beach to work out. We have Muscle Beach reserved for just the World's Strongest Firefighter alumni. We had a Muscle Beach is reserved for us. We're going to hang out. Chef Rush, who was President Obama's personal chef, the big dude that does like 2,222 push-ups every day.
Oh, geez.
That guy, he was at the Arnold. And he's also lives out in like Los Angeles. So he's going to like cook us a dinner, do all that kind of stuff. So, we know that I think registration for that World's Strongest Firefighter is going to come up around like July, something like that. I think it's going to be a little bit different this year of how they select. Cause I guess they had 400 applicants and they only picked the 16 of us.
Yeah.
So they want the experience to go to everyone. Like they want everyone to have this experience of World's Strongest Firefighter, but they don't want the same 15 guys doing it every year.
Yeah,
so trying to grow the sport, trying to make it, just comparable and still fun and interesting and just kind of like bring awareness. Cause everything we do, it's technically a fundraiser.
Yeah.
We're trying to raise money for, different unions or benevolent funds or things like that. You know, Santa Monica Fire Department, just trying to raising money for things and trying to bring awareness to the health and wellness of firefighters.
Dude, nice. I think it's awesome.
So since you work closely with the Arnold, something that happened in the fitness industry with the Arnold, you remember when Arnold said, screw your freedom?
Yeah.
We had, in our industry, we had Redcon 1, Rob Bailey. Who else dropped out of the Arnold? There was like a litany of people.
Brian Shaw.
Shaw,
like he had a picture of Arnold like in his gym, like went up to it, like ripped it in half. And like, he was like, no, I'm never.
Was there any?
He also was big on the vaccines and stuff too, wasn't he?
That's what he was saying.
Yeah, he was like, screw your freedom.
I think it was because was that required or something like that to compete or?
No, I think it was just in general because it was like, hey, we're getting out of the pandemic, and all of a sudden everyone's like, cool, happy, hey, we're back to life, and then it was like, nope, sorry, it's coming back again. Everyone's like, you gotta go back into whatever lockdown. People are like, we're done with this.
Yeah.
Like, we're done with this. And so that's why I think he was like, just get your vaccines and we don't have to do this kind of stuff anymore.
He was being outspoken about it.
Right. He was like, if you just get your vaccine, we don't have to be in lockdown and all that kind of stuff. We can go about our lives.
Was there any, so my question with that, was there any like blowback that you saw at the actual event from it?
No, not really. And that's what I was thinking too. Like, I was like, is there going to be protesters there? Is it like Kansas City where you got Westboro Baptist Church, like out at the NASCAR race, like protesting because they don't want to, So I was like, I had no idea. I didn't know but security was a little bit higher, but I don't think that had anything to do with necessarily like the pushback. It was just security.
I wondered how that was going to go because it's like, social media amplifies things. And I know Redcon 1 was putting a lot of money into that event. Yeah. And I know that, the supplement industry in general helps fund a lot of that event. So I didn't know if it would make an impact on it or not.
And there might have been when you look at it from like a operation. There might have been something like, we had some major people, but as a spectator who was coming in, like I couldn't tell any difference.
And it was still packed.
Oh, it was shoulder to shoulder, the entire place. And there was no mask mandate or anything like that. But it was.
I heard the event was huge. Yeah. I was like, a handful of people can leave, but that event can't.
They had like medieval times fighting there. Like,
are you talking about LARPing?
LARPing? Live action roleplay?
No.
Luke's a huge LARper.
Yeah, didn't you used
Luke's
to LARP?
Actually,
do you have any
huge guy on the LARP side.
You have a noodle sword that you like to LARP with?
What's your handle for the LARP chat rooms? You got one. LARPmelater.com?
Just,
At LARP me later.
Yeah.
Check him out.
You just see Luke like LARPing across like Kansas City at night, 2:00 in the morning.
I don't know why you think you're above it, Luke. I feel like for sure you could LARP.
Man, at Loose Park, there's a big LARP meetup all the time.
See? He already knows where it's at.
Yeah, dude. They know you by name. Why don't
do you guys remember before LARPing was like cool? I remember one time in college.
The movie Role Models?
No, this was before then.
That's how we all know.
I legitimately, me and my buddy, we had, I used to work at a bar in Springfield, Missouri, and we were like.
Shout out Zan.
We were both hungover in the morning. We were like, dude, we got to go get some breakfast or something. And got up, and literally an entire football field by where we were was like all of those people. And I was like, dude, what is going on right now? Am I really seeing this? Yeah. What is that?
It was the corner of Sunset and National.
It was. It was. I was like,
I remember seeing those kids.
Clay's like, hey, pull into this. Pull into that. I also was stadium.
A LARPer. No, sorry.
Yeah. He's like, pull in there. And we sat there for a second. I was like, I don't understand what's going on here, but it looks awesome. They're just hitting each other with like Nerf
foam swords
and stuff.
I remember back in college, like when Quidditch started coming to like college campuses and things like that.
I don't even know what that is.
From Harry
Potter game. But like, how do you play that not
They
flying?
Ride like brooms.
They
like
fly in brooms. And dude, there's a snitch. There's a quaffle.
Yeah, it's all there.
There's another one in there too.
I feel like you can't say quaffle on the podcast.
Why not?
Quaffle?
Quaffle.
That's what they're hitting. Quaffles,
sounds sexual.
Quaffles. And, I mean, dude, snitches is one word away from a sexual word. You didn't say that. But snitch, quaffle, is there like a...
it was the thing that hit you, right? Like it could knock you off your broom.
What's that? Was that
I think so.
I don't know. Anyways, some Harry Potter fans, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm really sorry if we're just butchering it right now. But I don't know how you play Quidditch not flying, considering that's the whole point.
Well, I'm sure they're flying on something, but
right.
It's not a broomstick.
Yeah, I'm
sure it could be fun.
I never read a single Harry Potter book.
Obscure sports. I mean, I played disc golf.
Hey, so that's all right though.
People are like, "That's real." I'm like, "Dude, yeah,
it's fun."
Jeff used to. I would call him and I'd be like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm playing golf," and I'm like, "No, you're not." He's like, "Well, disc golf."
Right.
You know.
He's like, "That's not golf." I'm like,
"It's not golf,
dude." It is. Dude, disc golf is huge in Michigan.
Is it?
Everyone played disc golf out there. Yeah.
Dude, there's a pro disc golfer just signed a $450,000 contract with a frisbee company. And these frisbees, by the way, like you buy like let's say like let's just put this like in perspective. How much does a driver cost, Kyle? Like a good quality driver,
like an actual like
golf driver. Yeah,
I mean $450, $500.
Okay, a really good driver in disc golf is $20.
Wow.
So you can get it at the CBD store too.
Yeah.
That's always where like disc golf store has like those little like weird shops.
I mean, I go to Dynamic Discs, the actual disc golf store. I mean, like it's
not gonna sell.
It's not some like back alley deal, but they're definitely like longboards has there's definitely like a really good close association with marijuana with disc golf.
That makes sense.
When I was in high school, there would always be like, it's just
potheads out there throwing their frisbees.
You're out in the woods, man, just living it.
But the difference is the reason why they can't play regular golf is because it's free to play disc golf, and you also have no tee time.
Yeah.
You just show up and play.
I don't know.
We got to get him to play.
It's fun.
Kyle won't play one round with me,
dude. You got to try at least.
I
once.
would definitely play around.
I even asked him to play
I
with
have
me on my
3
birthday.
kids.
He said no.
I have 3 kids, which really kind of limits.
They hate the outdoors.
My wife doesn't even want me to go play regular golf.
Bring them in a stroller.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of kids that come and play with disc golf with their parents. Just saying.
You want me to bring Clara?
Absolutely, dude. She'd love it.
Nah, she would be. You would hate it by about hole
2.
3.
She'd find a lizard on hole 2 and be psyched.
Yeah,
and be done.
Yeah, and then she'd be like, "Dad, are we going home? Dad, are we going to eat? Dad, what are we?
Dad, what are you doing?
Yeah,
hey, Dad. I hang out with a 2.5-year-old. She's fine. All right.
So
all I know is I guess Clara won't do it. All right, whatever. Anywho's, back to World's Strongest Firefighter.
Yeah, very good.
No, I don't have like a quick. Sometimes I do rapid fire questions. I don't have any right now, but I want to get back to what's important.
I have one. Yeah. How did you get into firefighting?
Ooh.
So yeah, great question.
I mean, this isn't a rapid fire question. It was just a question that I had.
It's kind of so. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice.
Oh, okay.
Which is, you can tell, is doing great.
Wow,
wonders. Yeah, thanks. Shout out to Culver Stockton again. For setting me up.
You right there after just telling us that. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, guys.
Boom.
Sorry.
So it doesn't even like matter. So I was in a small school. We were talking about Canton, Missouri, where Culver Stockton is, like town of 2,000 people. Football is NAI, so there's a commitment to it, but you still have time to do other stuff.
Yeah.
Sure. So sorry.
What else is there to do though?
Go hang out by the Mississippi River. There ain't nothing out there.
Drink beer.
Drink beer. Yep.
Beer 30.
Beer 30 and beer 30 light.
They actually, for all you kids, there is a real beer called Beer 30.
Came like a purple case.
Oh yeah.
30 packs, like $13.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If not cheaper. Just the worst. It was like the end of the night beer. You had to get something down.
Springfield's Cooks. Remember Cooks?
Oh yeah.
Cooks Light.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the worst. Like Red Dog.
Okay.
You ever had Red Dog beer?
Dude, it's that like as bad as a malt liquor.
Yeah, I'd say
about
so.
that. It's
like
a 40.
It's
an old English.
Yeah,
a Mickey's, if you
rough.
will.
A Mickey's. So yeah, we got an email one day from someone in the school that worked up on campus. Was like, hey, I'm the fire chief. If anyone should be like a volunteer firefighter, like come on down or whatever. And I was like, be cool. Like, it'd be an awesome experience. Kind of just do that. So I did it, and we did some cool stuff. Like, did some cool trainings. Like, I got to kind of see the experience. But in that part, like, there's really no career fire departments. It's all volunteer. So there wasn't any kind of push to, hey, you should make this your career. So after college, I did it for about 2 years. I graduated with that criminal justice, and I started doing juvenile corrections because it was just a job right out of college, and it was like, cool, like it's giving me paid, And so I was doing juvenile corrections for a while up in Missouri. Did it for about 3 years. You just saw like some of the worst kids.
Yeah.
Right? You're seeing like the Ted Bundys of the future with some of those kids. And it got old. I was like, this kind of sucks. You know?
Ted Bundy's a serial killer for all of you that don't know.
Yeah, so many names. But yeah, so we did that, did the juvenile corrections, and I started doing like parent aid, like teaching parents how to be parents. So we were living in Tucson, Arizona, and all the children had like,
to be clear, you weren't a parent yet.
No. And that's what people would ask me. They're like, why are you recommending this? Like, do you have kids? I'm like, no, this is just common sense. Like this is just how you take care of a kid. Like, you don't yell at them or like hit them because they aren't listening, So you had to like, and parents like, well, I still don't want to listen to you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then I still do youth development for the YMCA. So I've been.
And you did coaching as well, right?
I did coaching as well. Yeah. And so when we were in Tucson, we befriended this couple, and he was a firefighter, and I was like, yeah, man, I used to volunteer or whatever. And I was like, but at this point I was getting burned out by working with juvenile corrections, doing this parent aid. And all these kids have been taken from child protective services. I was doing crappy, shitty visitations with like these parents. And I was like, I need it.
His parents that didn't really want to parent. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. It was like, let someone else do it. They thought it was my job to like parent their kid. Why they visit with him once a week for an hour. They thought it was like my job to still watch him. And I was like, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
So it just got old, man. It became like, I need to change. I need to do something different. And
that sucks too, man, because you really put like you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you want to have a lot of purpose behind your job, obviously. Yeah. And it sucks when you're trying to coach people that don't want to be coached. You know what I mean?
And that's what it was. Like, you had to put up a wall quickly. Like, you had to like shut off emotions like the second you start this career, because otherwise they'll just take you down, man. You see this kind of stuff all the time. You're just like, this is miserable. Like,
yeah.
You see the worst. You see the stuff on the news up front in person, and you got to like teach this parent how to be parent. Where in all reality, like you shouldn't be parent at all. Like I shouldn't.
You're trying to tell them, could you just be a good person? This would change.
Stop
everything.
doing meth for 5 minutes, man. Like this is your kids here, and it just some things that just never clicked with people. It's just sometimes
they thought it was a victory that they made it.
Right.
They showed up.
Right. And that they should be awarded their child because they showed up one time for an hour. And I was like, you're missing out what this really is. So then I'd have to do like reports and talk to these judges and be like, sorry, like we've done 5 months of visitations and this mom has not, or this dad has not gotten their shit together.
Were these kids like just like completely, crushed when their parent couldn't get them?
Some
they wouldn't win this, you know what I mean?
Some, but so many of the kids were just, this was my reality of being in a foster home, or they had been with that foster family or whoever for 4 years now. Mom just finished her sentence, or dad finished her sentence at jail, is getting out just as you got to go do reunification with your kids. So the child has probably already moved on from that parent as it is. So that's where you get that resentment. Dad's trying to come in and is actually ready to be a parent, but that child's like, the hell are you?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in like 6 years and I'm 7 years old. Like, I don't know who you are. Like, I don't want you to, I have my family at home.
Too late, man.
Yeah. You missed out. And so it's just it was a weird dynamic of the things you were dealing with. And like I said,
I don't envy that job, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. We were in Tucson, Arizona. So we were just north of the border. So you had all the cartel issues and things like that we were dealing with, of the families of like mom had been basically recruited by the cartel to work. So that child gets put into a foster home. Now something happens to the mom, she gets out, whatever, she can go back about her daily life. And it's like, I didn't learn this in school.
Yeah.
Right. How am I supposed to fix this? You know? And I was a 24, 25, 26-year-old kid, something like that. I was like, I don't know. I don't have kids. What am I supposed to do with this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And then after like the juvenile correction, did the parent aid, and then came to Kansas City, started working for the Y, and started doing before and after school programming. So like parents got to go to work, drop them off before school. At the school, we run the program before and after school. So I've been doing that for 5 years with the Kansas.
That's much better, right?
Yeah, much better. But what ruins the career is not the kids. It's the parents. The parents are the ones who just over time, it's just like you wear us down with all the unparenting skills that you have. Parents are trying to like, well, my child needs to be doing this. Like, why aren't you training him or teaching them to do it? It's like, it's not my job as a after school program director. Like, you're still supposed to be the parent,
Like, I'm not a guardian.
Right.
I'm literally just a chaperone.
Right. I'm playing tic-tac-toe and like kind of hanging out. Like, it's not my job. So I was like, I got to make this change. So this is where firefighting kind of came back into play. Befriended that couple in Tucson. He was like, this is what you got to do. You got to go to EMT school. You got to go back to Fire 1, Fire 2, which is held at Johnson, the community college here. And you do like about a 1.5 year process. So we had moved back from Tucson, got back to Kansas City, started working for the Y, was living up north a little bit, and I started volunteering at Tonganoxie Fire Department, small little town, kind of northeast of Lawrence, and was going to school, going back to get my Fire 1, Fire 2, did that in just about a year.
You were living in Tonganoxie?
Living in Baser. I was living with my in-laws.
Oh,
so,
man.
yeah, I was doing that whole process.
Working out at the Y then when you were working there?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And so doing that, and it just kind of got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm going to make this transition, but it's going to be unsafe. Like, I'm doing all this school, EMT, going back to school for a job that I don't really know if I'm going to be able to get. I don't know if people are really hiring around here or what that process is like. So I ended up getting hired on. I been working 3.5 years at a full-time department down in Southwest Johnson County. Love it. And it's an amazing experience. I get paid to work out, I get paid to sleep, and paid to train and work out, like actually work on $1 million fire trucks. And
the camaraderie with the guys is cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it feels like being back on a team.
Yeah, exactly. Like, every night we make dinner together. You live with these guys for 24 hours at a time. Like, you're away from your family. My mom came down from Michigan to help with my wife with my newborn, because there's days I go back to work and that makes my wife now a stay-at-home mom for 24 hours a day with a newborn and a 3-year-old. That's tough.
That's brutal.
So it sucks, but it's essentially it's only 10 days a month.
Yeah.
I work 24-hour shifts, but 10 days a month.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a good payoff there where it's like, yeah, I might be gone for 24 hours, but
yeah, give and take.
Right. But I'm going to be home for 20 other days this month.
Yeah.
So it's finding that balance. Yeah, it's amazing. I love the career. obviously you see things and you go through stuff that's not the best. Like obviously no one wants to see some of that kind of stuff, but that's just kind of the reality. That's just like what you knew you were kind of getting into. You wanted to help people.
Sure.
Help people on their, you know, on their worst day kind of thing.
Well, I'm glad it's at least been, you know, what you expected it to be versus what, you know, the corrections was, you know, it's totally different from what you expected.
It was more preventative.
Right.
Yeah. Way more preventative because that corrections, it was all recovery. The action had already happened with whatever it was. The crime had been committed, the whatever. And this is like, how can we help people? How can we be in the community more and raising awareness and stuff like that? It felt like it was just more, I'm actually being able to help you rather than you've already done all the damage. There's not much I can do right now.
Do you do all the training at the firehouse then now?
Yeah. So we do. If not, like our department's really good at like sending you to Wichita or wherever. We do different trainings all over the country.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I meant like you lifting weights, like what you training for strongman. Where are you doing the majority of that now?
Honestly, at the fire station.
Do you have those implements that you were talking about?
Yeah. So after the Arnold, I ended up buying like Titan Fitness had a shot, like a sale. I was like, whatever, man. I'm going to try getting into it, pay for what I can get and go from there and just start building it. Cause I was like, I don't want to pay for a membership. I can do this stuff at the fire station. I was like, I kind of got to buy this.
Yeah.
So I bought it all, and it's just all at the station, like tucked away in the corner. Like I have a Hustle Stone and log press and axle bars. Like I've created my own little strongman gym at the fire station.
Very cool.
So that helps out a lot too. And the wellness of firefighters, like our chief is very much like, hey, you guys got to work out. It's required that you work out an hour a day on shift. We want you to be healthy. We want you to be strong and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, most of my like strong, heavy days are when I'm at the station working out.
Sense.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah.
We have you got anything because I'm about to go into final question.
Oh, what, you got a rapid fire?
No, just final question.
Oh, okay.
It's a really good one. Okay, for a guy that's been 320 pounds, I have a genuine amount of respect for your food opinions.
All right.
But for Kansas City and you being a Michigan guy, I know you've heard all kinds of things about Kansas City barbecue. But now when you just said your mom came down, for example, where would you tell her is the only barbecue spot you only get to take her one? Yeah, there's a lot of them that are good.
Yeah, there is.
You can take them to one. Where are you taking them in Kansas City?
Hayward's.
Whoa, that's a new one.
Never been said.
A new one.
Hayward's. Diamond in the rough, man.
Teach us. I've never heard of Hayward's.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
I had somebody this past weekend tell me that their favorite place in Kansas City was Hayward's, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Have you
I haven't
been?
heard that.
Have you been?
Yeah, there's one over on State Line.
Oh, is there? I thought there was only the one location. I thought there was only one like off 75th or something like that.
They just opened one off State Line. Yep,
Yeah,
they just
there you
opened.
go. So
State
it's
line and
expanding.
what? It's a long line.
Yeah.
It's a long road.
It's State Line and it's down
It's the entire
towards
state.
Leewood.
Okay.
Okay. So kind of like
State
by-
line and like
119th would be my guess.
Gotcha.
Okay. Gotcha.
Gosh, now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, no, it's 75th over by the Shawnee Mission Hospital, the main
What makes it
hospital.
unique here? I mean, like, how have I never heard of this?
So it's got like they have their own version of the Z-Man,
Of course.
right?
Yeah. Onion
And-
ring, barbecue sauce, provolone, brisket.
Right. And so they have their own version of it. Super cheap, super easy to go to. Yeah, it's the place to be, man. It's a diamond in the rough.
So that's I get it. I mean, I get it. You got people, coming to town.
I'm an idiot.
You put your ear to the
And
streets.
You're right. There is only one.
Which one are you?
They
I'm
just
thinking
opened
of,
it, Kyle. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what the other one is off State Line. It starts with an H. I went there for lunch one day. I'll be able to find it.
I went to one that was like, dude, I would rather have so many other barbecue spots, but it was like it's supposed to be famous too, right? So I'm like, please don't go here. It's off Southwest Boulevard. It's called.
There's so many.
I know.
There's so
Southwest
many.
Boulevard. It's all Mexican restaurants. This is like the only barbecue spot. It's like Brian somethings or something. It's
Not
two
Arthur
words.
Bryant's?
No, not Arthur Bryant's. You're right. It's something else. But anyways, they're just known for being super cheap. It's like you get like for like $15, they'll make you like hate life.
Really?
As far as how much food they
Yeah.
give you if you ate it all.
That's what I've noticed too about barbecue out here. Is because like in Michigan, you don't have like barbecue. There's no food in Michigan where it's like, oh yeah, this is what represents the state of Michigan by any means. So coming out here I had never had like cornbread or sweet tea until I come out to Missouri.
What's Michigan's food? Like
Open it.
Beer.
Oh, is it?
Honestly, like beer. My craft breweries are all out there.
What do you want?
I want you. All right, Tyler. I need you to do this for the
Okay.
gram. Take a picture. I need you to give me you going like this to your mouth
Okay.
with your right hand
You got to be serious.
and lean forward.
Like this.
That is pretty good, dude.
Yes, that's it. You just pulled landscaping duty.
That's right. Somebody else's fingers hurt.
Well, now your back's gonna hurt.
You just pulled landscaping duty. Somebody else's fingers hurt. I love it. Well, man, appreciate you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
We had a super awesome time for the last hour talking to you, getting to know you, man.
Tell everybody where they can find you as far as social media goes.
So I just have one social media. It's just the Instagram, Kalama T-Bone. So it's like Kalamazoo from Kalamazoo, Michigan. So Kalama T-Bone.
Strongman Firefighter isn't taken. You should use it.
Yeah, I know.
Kalama what?
Kalama T-Bone. I know. I need to upgrade it.
Spell it for us.
Firefighter Strongman or something like that.
Yeah, Strongman Firefighter. Done.
Yeah. Well, like that's the thing. It's like the middle school names, like the middle school emails you came up with, like way back when. Like
some 41.
Surfer Guy 01 kind of thing. It's just like made this name up like 5 years ago when I got Instagram. It's just like, well, now it's stuck. Like I can't just like delete it and try to like rebuild it. So I was just like, just stick with it.
But here's the fun thing about Instagram is you can just change names anytime you want and you don't lose your account.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just change your name right now. Just change your username right now from your phone.
Well, that's good to know.
Easy.
Yeah.
That'd be easy.
Anyways, tomorrow he'll be Strongman Firefighter 01.
You're right. Right.
What year did you graduate? 07?
08.
08?
Yep.
Yeah, Strongman Firefighter 08.
Right.
Come get it. All right. Appreciate you, dude. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Tell your mom, tell your wife we're sorry about the Broncos as well.
Yeah.
She'll be all right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.